Hello, what up guys? How you doing? It's Lasty here. Welcome today to a new episode of the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. Today is episode number 199. We are one episode away, or two technically if you count today and tomorrow's video, away from our second century. Craziness. Time is literally flying through FIFA 20. Guys, if you do enjoy today's episode, keep smashing that love. I mean, you are killing it at the moment. Thank you. Smash the thumbs up. Let's go for 2,500 likes. I think you can do that, and I think you can do that in just a few hours. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here. And let's get stuck into today's video, right? Why don't you leave me a little comment down below, something nice, and also in the description there is a link to a giveaway that I'm doing. So if you want to get involved, go for it. I highly recommend it, right? So I'm going to start today's episode off by selling Hummels and some other fodder that we had in our club. He was the highest rated thing that I had. The rest of it is just like some rares and non-rares that I had in my club that I wanted to get rid of to try and bring our coin balance up, because in today's episode we are going to buy a new player that costs over 500,000 coins, and at this moment in time right here, when I was selling stuff, didn't know who that player was going to be. So I'm going to take you through a few teams that I had in my mind. This is the first one. It would be to bring Overmars out and put Acuna into the striker spot. So he'll be there over Overmars. He'll be on 8 chem. Overmars was on 7. So it would be a slightly up on chemistry from our original team. And that would obviously force... well, no matter what I'm doing here today, I'm going to be forcing Acuna into striker for this weekend league, or at least the start of the weekend league, or at least until I can figure out something better that I want to do. I'm going to give him a second chance up there, and this would be how this particular team plays. 4-2-2, Zola and Bernardo Silva. This was the next team that I had a little idea of what we could do with. It would be to change formation in total, bring in Bruno Fernandes Winter Refresh into the squad, and that would of course mean that I would have to probably play a 4-4-2 rather than a 4-2-2, just because he's definitely more of a CM cam rather than a CDM CM. So I'd want to play him in a centre mid spot, but we could most definitely do that. Apart from what I realised is actually he was a little bit too expensive. The next option, and I so nearly did this one, was to bring in 94 rated Kevin De Bruyne, because I do want to use him. Again, it would be a similar situation to Bruno Fernandes, where he's more of a CM cam rather than a CDM CM. So he would have to play in a 4-4-2. And that excited me a little bit as well. I nearly did that one because he does look like a very good player. But again, I would have needed to sell a little bit more stuff. I needed to get close to the 600k mark with him. Or we could possibly do this. And this is something we could definitely look into a little bit more going forwards, is these Libertadores and Sudamericana League SBCs. And if I did 3 of them, I could get Perez... I don't know what they're called. Bustos is one of them, and Lopez maybe. But that could be a potential option that we could do and get that Argentine trio. But what of course that does is brings out Koeman and Tierney, like 2 pretty huge players for our team. So I didn't want to do that. So I actually settled on, well, not settled on, because it was, I think this is the best option out of the lot. And it is Scream Bobby Firmino. So by bringing everyone forward, it gives me a chance of either playing 4-4-2 or 4-2-2, which is what I'm kind of used to. But this Scream Bobby was recently upgraded to 5-star skills. Is a member of like Club 80. He's 80 all around, and with the shadow chemistry style, can be a ridiculous like box-to-box midfielder. People have talked about him being on they've talked him alongside 90 Hullet, which I mean, if he's anywhere near that good, then I'll obviously be buzzing. But I think this is how I want to play the team in the 4-2-2, and I think with the added defensive stats that Scream Firmino's actually got, I think that we could, he could most definitely play as a CDM. And then I'll just leave him on balanced. He can push up the field and do whatever he wants to do. So I had a little look on the market, and he is very static at the 520k mark. I never saw one pop up lower than that. I checked a few different times, and I mean, now that obviously Foot Birthday's coming later on tonight, you never know whether or not there'll be something which makes his price go down. If there is, I'll try and get out as quickly as I can. This Bobby Firmino is someone that we've bought now to play as our CDM centre mid type player for this weekend league, unless there's a reason to sell him, like maybe there's a cool Foot Birthday player I would rather try, or maybe there's a reason why he might drop in price. And if that is the case, then obviously I will just do my very best to get out as quick as possible so that we don't lose too much money, all right? Because I know it's a bit silly to buy players the day before or on the day of a new promo coming out. But I also feel a little bit okay with it because, like, I know that he's a player which typically holds his value really well because he is one of a kind. You know, he's like a 5-star skiller, Hullet type player on this game. And there's not many of those, especially at that type of price. So I needed to apply a whole bunch of position modifiers. I needed to put a couple of chemistry styles on. One, I needed to obviously switch Atal's chemistry style, and I also needed to put a chemistry style onto Zola. And you'll see as I go through in a moment exactly what I'm going to do with them. But just making sure everyone's in the right position means that actually, whereas before we had like a couple players on 7 chem and 8 chem and stuff, the only player that's not on full chemistry here is Tierney at right back. And he's on 7 chem. So the squad in terms of chemistry is looking really quite good. I needed to buy a cam to CF to apply to Atal because I'm obviously going to put him all the way up to striker, and that's where he's going to actually play for us. Actually kind of excited to try him out there again because I know a lot of you think I'm wasting him as the CM. I'm telling you, he can just play anywhere. He's genuinely brilliant anywhere. But yeah, happy to give him another shot up top, see how he does. I can't imagine he's going to be anywhere near as good as Cristiano Ronaldo. But if the team's more solid in general, then we might still do okay. So I looked at Zola on the basic chem style. I actually quite like the look of him on basic. But then knowing he's going to be a cam for me, probably not scoring that many goals. I just want to make him a quick, great dribbler who can offload the ball to my teammates. Those 3 things. And of course, the chemistry style that gets all of those 3 encompassed is the engine. So that's what we've put on the Italian. And hopefully he'll just feel like super agile, super like crazy with the movement, lovely through balls and passes and stuff, and nice and quick on the turn. So yeah, really, really happy with how the team's looking right now. Obviously, Bobby gets that strong link to David Luiz, and obviously Cyprian gets the strong link to Atal. So everyone there is sitting on 10 chemistry. Maybe I need to change the manager to make sure Tierney's on 10. I think we can actually bring back our Payras, so I'll do that for the weekend league for sure because he's the best manager on the game, right? I also decided to change my kit, and this foot icons kit, I think I've got a new favorite in the game, guys. This thing looks brilliant. Look at that. It's the foot icons away kit, and there was some sort of objective to do to get it, and I highly recommend it. If there's still time to get it, which I think there might be a few hours, then make sure you go for it because it is a very, very nice kit indeed. So my next goal here was to go into some rivals matches to just test the waters because there is time for me to just sell this Bobby Firmino and forget it ever happened if he isn't any good, all right? You know, so test it out before we get into the weekend league. Rivals is a good testing ground, you know, with rivals, I often come up against people that are crazy, like better than me. I also come up against some people that I don't know how they've got to where they are, and I can smack them. So it's a weird one, and that is just all because of the way objectives are centered this year. People are literally all over the place with their divisions and ranks and stuff. So I don't read too much into it if I get absolutely smacked in rivals, because it's probably just someone from Division 1 who's come down to get his objectives done. So I went 1-0 down after 4 minutes, and I was like, oh no, this is not how we want to start. But I got an equaliser, and was it Atal that got the goal? I think it was actually. And then Zola, you know, we seem to be working down this left-hand side. The little Italian seems pretty awesome at doing what he's doing out there at the wide cam. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually really loving him. And a nice ball to the back post. And it's Bernardo Silva that ends up getting me 2-1 up. So my opponent scored in 5 minutes. I then scored another goal in 5 minutes and scored another one in the next 5 or 6 minutes. So, yeah, high scoring 2-1 game in 15, 16 minutes. And he decided to quit. Weird, because we'd literally, like, none of the goalkeepers have made any saves. He'd had 1 shot, I'd had 2, and maybe he just wanted it to be a bit easier. I'm not sure. Anyway, that takes us up to, excuse me, the old throat is still a little bit sore. And it takes us up to over 1,400 skill rating, which of course it just means that we're solidified in Div 4 right now, which is all good. We know that we get Div 4 rank 3 or rank 2 depending on how much we play, and Again, we'll probably get rank 3 this week unless there's some sort of cool objective for Foot Birthday, which I'm hoping there would be, which, you know, encourages you to play a bit more rivals to unlock a player, because I'll be down for that if it doesn't look too ridiculous. So next game, it wasn't the greatest of teams, I'm not going to lie. This guy was probably doing an objective, and I saw you guys saying, like, maybe you know how stressful it was when you were doing objectives. Maybe if someone's giving you a close game and stuff, if they're doing objectives, maybe just let them have the win. I think I can do that, but I literally went 1-0 up against this guy and he quit. So I want to play some of the match out. Obviously, I don't just want to quit straight away and let them have the win. I'd rather just play it out for a little bit and then, you know, make sure they get their victory at the end if I'm not playing for anything in particular. If I need rivals rank points, then I'll carry on playing, right? Everyone else does. So yeah, anyway, we come away with a quick rage quit there. So both the games that we played so far, I really haven't lasted long. I've played about 20 FIFA minutes so far. We go on into what is going to be the next game, and we come up against this nice team. Finally, a team that isn't probably doing some sort of objective or something. It's just his main squad. And we get into the match. I'm the away team, so he's got kickoff to begin with. And he just pauses and quits off the kickoff. And yeah, none of us had really touched the ball or done anything. So don't know what that's about. He's just relegating himself, I guess, isn't he? But fair enough, whatever. It doesn't waste too much time. We're not doing objectives, so it's not really bothering me. We just go into the next game. And I come up against someone who's got some nice players, including a 95 Lewandowski, mid Luis Hernandez, and prime Rivaldo. Wouldn't be surprised at all if those two players were what came out of his mid icon pack and prime icon pack, if I'm honest. But I make a sloppy error here, and despite being able to get in the way and manually block that, or maybe it was an AI block, I don't know. I was controlling Coman, so it probably was an AI block. It fell straight to Luis Hernandez anyway, and my opponent goes 1-0 up, hits me with a little bit of a sassy walk, I like it, and then he just cuts inside with Rivaldo. I nearly foul him to give the penalty away, but it was good composure from the Brazilian actually to knock that one into to Luis Hernandez, who scores again. I get hit with a dab this time, which starts the blood boiling. No, it doesn't. But I realised this guy had about 68, 70% possession, something stupid, and was just dragged back and ball rolling in his own half and stuff. So I was like, you know what, mate, you're going to have the win. I'm going to move on. I just didn't fancy it, if I'm honest. So we move on to the next one and match up against an opponent who, could that be an objective team? I guess it could be like a La Liga objective squad, maybe. I couldn't really see that at the time. I get a little bit thrown off by that new red striker. Like, I didn't realise that was a La Liga striker, and the Neymar and Roberto Carlos. It just makes you think that this is someone's main squad. So I actually did not notice this at the time whatsoever. Anyway, Neymar working his way out, plays it into that little Italian, the crafty Italian Gianfranco Zola. Back to Neymar, back across, and it's Bernardo Silva that puts me 1-0 up. Nice play, you know, smart play, of course, to just sweat that one across. It is Zola again, knocking it inside to Atal, getting it back, taking the shot. You can see that he's actually doing really quite well, isn't he? I'm hitting Berber spins with Zola in positions where I wouldn't have been able to with Overmars. So despite only being an 87 rated player, a mid-icon compared to a 92 rated icon moments player, at the moment he seems to be like, he fits the game a little bit better. So I think, like, it might be curtains for Overmars at this stage. I don't know if he's going to really last much longer. Like, I don't think I would put him into an SBC or anything, but I don't see when and where I would use him unless we change the team around again. So I'm still trying to learn these slightly further out free kicks. Didn't quite go that well for me there. But Zola is tricky once again, knocking it into Bobby Firmino. And some good turning, actually, from the Brazilian. And a weak foot goal. So I don't expect him to get assists or goals or anything. I want him to be a good centre midfielder. Maybe a few assists or something, I guess. But I want him to just be solid. You know, I want him to play that defensive midfielder role well. I want him to be able to dribble well, offload the ball to someone else like Zola or Bernardo Silva, who can then get the assists. That's what I'm looking for from him. Also decided to bring Orsic on for the latter stages of this match, just to see if he was any good. He doesn't really play anywhere near the stats that he's got, though. So that's good to know, because even I haven't really played him since he got upgraded, and I still don't think he's very good, despite having some pretty crazy stats. He's just a bit of a letdown, if I'm honest. So yeah, won't be really using him too much. It does solidify me bringing on Ryan Kent or maybe Overmars or something in as my substitutes more in the weekend league, when I decide to take Zola and Bernardo Silva off for a little bit more firepower or just fresher legs at the end of a game. So yeah, that was a nice rivals victory there. We actually played really well. That guy was quite good. Held more possession against me and passed really well. But we were able to be quite clinical when we got the opportunities. So I get a little 2-player pack for scoring a goal with Bobby. That must have been the second Liverpool goal I'd got or something. But nothing spectacular. I think literally a 75 rated non-rare, and then there must be a silver rare. Actually, I think it was some silver West Ham player. Yeah, looks like it. Anyway, so whatever, it is what it is. But that's going to wrap up this episode, guys. So what we've done is we've spent over 500k on this Bobby Firmino. Obviously, like I said, I will keep tabs on how he's doing. I'll keep tabs on what comes out, whether or not he's someone that price is going to crash or whatever. I'll keep an eye on it. And don't be surprised if tomorrow I've already sold him if something else better came along. Or I was worried that I was going to lose money or something. It is just, I like him. He's actually really good. And I think the added 5-star skill moves, that's actually quite important. Even as a centre mid CDM type player, I find myself scooping away from someone, bursting away, and then letting that pass off. And we're away. We're on a break. We're on an attack. So, yeah, happy with that. And also, Atal with his crazy stats everywhere. He might not be the greatest striker. I'm sure he's still going to score goals for me. But essentially, he's got also pretty good interceptions and stuff. So we're really going to be defending from the attack. Atal's going to be blocking those balls, hoping that Zola's making a run, Neymar's making a run. And that's how we're gonna likely score our goals in the weekend league. Guys, that is it for today's episode. Do me a favour, hit the thumbs up button. I just realised I'm wearing the same top as I wore in yesterday's video. That's because I'm recording them on the same day. I don't wear the same top 2 days in a row. For any of you wondering out there, I'm not filthy. But anyway, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Do me a favour, hit that thumbs up button. We're shooting for 2,500 likes. Why don't you come and follow me on Twitter and Instagram? The links are down below. And like I said, there is a giveaway in the description if you're interested as well. Just a retweet and follow type thing. And you'll be entered into a Elgato HD60S Plus giveaway, which is all good. Have a great day, everyone. Hope you're still all chilling, relaxing, and not getting too bored and stuff. Taking your mind off everything going on in the world by watching a bit of YouTube, and hopefully I'm providing that for you every day. We'll have episode 200 tomorrow, and then Sunday's video will most likely just be the highlights of 100 to 200, and then we'll get on to episode 201 the next day. That's just for you guys that are still here, like my plans for content over the next couple of days. Double uploads aren't really something that's working for me at the moment. I much prefer the one video a day. Hopefully you enjoy it and watch it for longer and stuff like that. I'll catch you tomorrow with another episode. Peace.